A digital storytelling of El Filibusterismo published in Ghent, 1891. Paul G. Manugas, Lecciones. On October 1887, he began writing it in Calamba while practicing medicine. On 1888, he made changes in the plot and revised the chapter already written. He wrote more chapters in Paris, Madrid, and Biarritz. While on March 29, 1891, he finished the manuscript in Biarritz after 2 years. From Brazil, Rizal moved to Ghent, where printing was cheaper. In September 1891, El Filibusterismo came off the press. On July 5, 1891, Rizal left Brazil for Ghent. The reason why Rizal left Brazil for Ghent because the cost of living was lower, the cost of printing in Ghent was cheaper than Brazil, to escape from the enticing attraction of Petite Suzanne. Owing to his limited funds, Rizal lived in a cheap boarding house with Jose Alejandro as roommate. They lived frugally in Ghent for 3 months from July to September. To economize further on their living expenses, they prepared their own breakfast. He pawned his jewel in order to pay down payment and early partial expenses during the printing of the novel. Rizal became desperate because his funds were running low. He received some money from Basak and 200 from Rodriguez Arias for the copies of Manugas sauces sold in Manila, but these funds were also used up. On July 1891, Rizal wrote a letter to Basa saying that if no money comes, he will have to stop its publication. On August 6, the printing had to be suspended as Rizal feared because he could no longer give the necessary funds to the printer.
El Filibusterismo comes off the press. Valentin Ventura heard Rizal's predicament. He immediately sent the amount of money needed to finish the publication of the novel. September 18, 1891, El Fili come off the press. Rizal immediately sent 2 copies to Hong Kong, one for Basa and the other to Sixto Lopez. He gratefully gave the original manuscript of El Fili and a printed copy with his autograph to Valentin Ventura. Filipino patriots praised the novel. The members of the colony of Barcelona published a tribute in La Publicidad, a Barcelona newspaper, eulogizing the novel original style, which comparable only to the sublime Alexander Dumas, a model and precious jewel in the now dismembered literature of Spain. The liberal Madrid newspaper El Nuevo Regiment realized the news in these issues of October 1891. All copies of the first edition, Ghent edition of El Fili were placed in wooden boxes and shipped to Hong Kong, but almost all the boxes were confiscated and all the books were lost. The books immediately became rare and few available Ghent copies were sold very high prices, reaching as high as 400 pesetas per copy. Dedication of novel to the memory of the priest Don Mariano Gomez, 18 years old, Don Jose Burgos, 30 years old, and Don Jacinto Zamora, 35 years old, was executed the Buguman Bayan field on the 18th of February 1872. To straighten historical record, however, we must swiftly resolve historical inquiries in his dedicatory note, the martyrdom of Gomburza occurred on February 7, 1872. Father Gomez was 70 years old, not 85. Father Burgos was 35 years old, not 30. And Father Zamora was 37 years old, not 35. The manuscript. The original manuscript of El Filibusterismo in Rizal's own handwritten is now preserved in the Filipiniana Division of the Bureau of Public Libraries, Manila. It has been acquired by the Philippine government from Valentin Ventura for 10,000 pesos. It consists the 279 pages of long sheet of paper. The title page of El Fili contains an inscripted written by Ferdinand Volume 3. Features that didn't appear in the printed books